Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Everyday life in Soviet Union. The shopping runaround. The author Hendrik Smith was head of the Work Times office in Moscow from 1970 to 1974. The following passage is adapted from Mr. Smith's book, The Russian, which was published in 1976 by Quadrangle or the New York Times Book Company. I had heard about customers' shortage before going to Moscow, but only when we began to show there did the Russian customers' problem really have meaning for me. Customers the world overweight in lines, but Soviet lines have a special quality all their own. Typically, the Soviet women spend 2 hours and day lines 7 days a week. Personality, I have known of people who stood in line 70 minutes to buy 4 pineapples and 30 hours to buy 3 large head of cabbage, only to find the cabbage were gone as they approached the front of the line. Lines can run from a few yards to nearly a mile. Lines of people is Moscow signing up to buy rocks. The line lasts 2 days and nights and run for across all talk and apartment development. In spite of all of this, the natural reaction of the Russian woman when she is in a line forming is to get in immediately, even before she knows what is being sold. However, Soviet lines are more filled the day appear. In most stores, for example, shoppers must stand in a not one but 3 lines for any purchase. The first to select a purchase and find out its price. The second to pay a cashier somewhere else in the store and get a receipt. And the third to go pick up the purse and turn in the receipt. But in the diary store one morning, I found out the games it was simpler and more complex than that. I went in to buy some cheese, butter, and bolognese sauce, which were in their spirit departments, is with its own lines, 9 lines. Reader quickly thought I noticed and experienced it. Shoppers were keeping the first stage. They know what most times cost, so they went directly to cashier for the receipt. After studying price, I did that too. Then I went to cheese line, the longest, probably 20 people to get the worst over with. First, I was in line less than a minute when the woman in front of me asked me to hold her place. She darted off the butter and milk line, the cheese line moving slowly, that cheese got the butter and milk and returned. Before we had advanced 3 feet, I decided to take the risk too. I got a bag with my butter while the cheese line were still inching along. They instantly occurred to me all over the store. People plus leaving, returning. Everyone we using the cheese line as home base. That was way it was barely moving. It came expanding in the middle, so I got to the man behind me to hold place. And I went to buy my bolognese. Once again, it took me 22 minutes to buy butter, sausage, and cheese. But instead of being furious, I felt as a head beating the system. The competitive shopping gave a atmosphere to teasing a tourism life. People burst into stores, bump into each other with faces to incombative experience. You have to understand, said a kind gray-haired person, that for as long as we can remember, shopping has been a struggle, life a struggle. There is hardly any any effective experiencing to help shoppers. Americans complain about the constant commercialism in United States, but they might reconsider if they were exposed to the customer blackout in Russian, a typical Soviet, and might be if you want to live to ripe old age and be beautiful, modest stroke and cheerful, drink tea. Most newspapers published without the shopper has no handy yellow page or daily newspapers, supermarket or department store ads to to help her decide where to shop. Breeberry is white saber, low paid, $18 to $20 monthly sales regulars. Take a per pound of attractive item and sell them secretly to legal customers who have each left a brewery event to or can be choose on to pay high price on delivery. 10 to 15 rubles on the 60 ruble raincoat in standard. In 1976, the trouble was equivalent to 1,032. So common is this practice that the Soviet spread is always complaining about it, but it doesn't do any good. Crocodile to Soviet humor magazine once shopped a government store employee promoting some newly arrived item. Their customer is a leather goods department. 100 improved woman pieces have been recited. 450 of them have been booked by store employees. 49 are under the counter, have been under an advance for friends, and purse is in the display window when invite you visit the leather department to buy this purse. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.